You're all set.
Nothing yet. 0. Waiting for the guys.
Seems like you got a little cold.
I want to keep them on proper work.
Our job sites right now. When it's time. Oh, wow. Yeah, Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, it's Friday. It's not a weekend.
Sorry. It just happened to turn when we're looking.
Good morning.
All right, 6:30. We'll get going. A little bit smaller crowd, but it probably means everyone's out working hard, so we'll get going anyway. So this week's ECI Code of Conduct of the Week: drive safely, defensively, and courteously. This is, but all of them are really important, but this is a really important one too. We all spend a lot of time in vehicles. You know, even people who are in the office spend many hours a week in the vehicles, and I know you guys in the crews going back and forth every day. So, you know, the people around us that see the ECI name out there, you know, are seeing our trucks, or seeing our trailers, or seeing our equipment. So, you know, more so than our job sites that are out in the middle of wetlands and things like that. So it is very important, and it is promotes the company image. We need to pay attention. We spend a lot of hours on the road, so it's a lot of miles. So just the risks for vehicle incidents go up considerably the more time we spend on the road. So they're very important. Safety news: another full week without an injury. So well done. We'll keep that trend going. I'm going to wrap up quick on some items that Matt was talking about last week on slips, trips, and falls, with just some statistics. Just kind of hits home a little bit. So since January 1st last year, so less than 2 years from now, less than 2 years ago, so we had 7 ECI employees injured from a slip, trip, or fall type incident. And those are injuries where the person may not have returned back to work the next day on full duty. They may have come on light duty. They may have not been able to return to work for a short period of time. So that really hits home. 7 people. That's kind of a good chunk of people in this room right now. Of these 7 injuries, 3 were related specifically to slippery and uneven terrain, which we're going to start to get into even more now as we start to get temperatures. I think next week are starting to creep down towards freezing at night. 3 injuries related to dismounting equipment. That's a big one. You got a lot of 1,000 trips a day, I'm sure, going up and down in and out of equipment throughout the company. And then 1 injury related to poor housekeeping, which is also something that is very important. We're going to spend more time today talking about housekeeping. So that will be kind of the topic of today. So we'll talk about the importance of good housekeeping. Housekeeping, Safeopedia definition. I didn't know there was such a website, but there is, safeopedia.com. It's the routine cleaning and organizing of the workplace. So the key word: routine, cleaning, and organizing. So it's not just cleaning, it's not just keeping your tool trailer organized, it's everything. It's holistic around the job site and the workplace. So this includes removal of trash and debris, excess material from the project site. It's easy to get extra material and just get a pile going and get cluttered, and so just keep up with it. It's the best way to do it. When you go, when the guys are coming back to the shop at the end of the day, bring some of that stuff back. Get it recycled, get it thrown in the trash, get it disposed of properly. Keep the sites clean and sanitary. Have a trash bin out there. Have a trash bag out there. Keep your your food and your wrappings and your bottles Not on the ground. Organize your materials. A safety inspector told me years back when I was very young, keep everything square to the world. If you've got rebar, if you've got pipe, if you've got pallets of material, if you've got rolls of fabric, keep everything square to the workplace. Keep things parallel. Maintain paths between your materials. That'll help add efficiency as well. And then organize tools and equipment. Who here's got an organized, who would call an organized tool trailer? Who's got an unorganized tool trailer? I see them both every day. So it is something that is very important. So this is not one of our job sites, but we've all seen this before. We've got uneven terrain. We've got excess spoil piles from an excavation. We've got lumber discarded, and we've got debris and trash, tarps, plastic bottles, cups mixed in, and then we've got scaffold material. In this case, could be any other tools, could be any other rigging and things like that. We see it all the time. So this is the type of things we want to try to avoid. That's just asking for inefficiency. It's asking for slips and trips. It's asking for extra work trying to organize all that stuff. So that's the type of thing we need to avoid. And then it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for anybody. It doesn't look like it's a nice place that we want to be working, right? Here's another example. Tools and workbenches and work. This is not a trailer in this case, but these are the questions that we're asking ourselves all the time, right? Have you seen my glasses? Does anyone know where my cutting shield is? Where's the fire extinguisher? I don't know. It's somewhere in there. And then we all hurry up and find the spill kit, right? We've all said that one. We just had a small oil spill. Where's the spill kit? Send someone to go find it. And we just can't find it. So these are just types of things that we need to be aware of and making sure that we are staying organized. We are keeping our tools and our equipment, our materials organized enough to where we know they are. We know where they are. Here's one of our sites. A good example of great housekeeping. This is down in New Haven, just recently. So we've got smooth, even terrain. We've got no objects on the ground that are in the way of the hoisting operations. We've got space to move. We've got space to escape to if something did go wrong. And it looks clean, and it just promotes safe working habits as we're working there. Another good example of a clean and organized tool trailer. We've got space to walk in there. I've seen tool trailers that you can't even get in. You can't even get past the threshold, let alone get to the back of the trailer. So getting things out of there when you send a laborer in to go grab a screw and some screw gun, and it's easy, it's efficient. We know where they are. Stuff back when you're done. We should all be working more efficiently, and then you have access to those things that you need in a pinch, right? So effects of good housekeeping, we're trying to lessen the risks of slips, trips, and falls, lessen the number of things on the ground that are going to be in our way when we're trying to walk. And usually we're, half the time we're walking empty-handed, half the time we're walking with something big in our hand, right? It's just, you're never really, fully paying attention to every step that you're walking on. We should be, but we shouldn't have to step over things. We're going to increase productivity. We're going to know where our things are. We're going to know where our tools are. People are going to, be able to communicate more efficiently and get things done quicker. Protects the environment. A lot of the jobs we work in are in environmentally sensitive areas. Sometimes I think the entire state of Vermont is considered a wetland. So, we need to be working clean. We need to be aware of what our trash and what our chemicals or other materials that we're working with, hazardous materials, could impact, and being able to clean them up if something did happen. And then it just promotes a good company image. It promotes a good company image to ourselves and our crews. It promotes a good company image to our site inspectors, our clients, and then anyone else who sees the site. So that's all very important. So good housekeeping is the key to safety. And that sign can be everything. Everything's a key to safety. There's a sign for it all. But anyways, that's it. Have a safe week. And I'll hand it over to Kim.
Thanks, Joey.
Let's see here. Minimize that, I guess.
I just need to hit the escape button.
Minimize enough things and I'll get there.
There you go.
Okay. So on my blog, I focused on, we had a few different things you mentioned here, the entering and exit equipment safely. I guess I'll pop it real quick just to show you the thinking here, because that was the other item that had 3 injuries in that period. And I basically think we have to have the don't be in a hurry to get out of equipment type approach. Unless maybe my link was bad. I'll try it.
CI.
Safety. So this is the way you can also get to the safety blog on the safety page. Okay. So I said that we do it all the time. I agree. It's probably thousands of steps out of either a heavy truck or a piece of equipment, and sometimes it's not even terrain. It's slippery, icy, like you say. And I have a few suggestions. First, before you exit, stop and think. And then to position your equipment on firm ground that's reasonably level and room for you to disembark. Arrange the equipment boom and the tool attachments in a secure position. Arrange the equipment cab so the exit steps are right there, like on an excavator. And then engage parking brake or hydraulic lockout. And then when possible, just stand up and stretch a little bit before you make those steps out. I think that's an important part. And always maintain the 3 points of contact. And then the exit steps should be descended while facing the equipment and never skip a separate jump off. I think a lot of it is to just take that moment and stop. You automatically will think more about it if you stop. If you're in a hurry, you're going to go too fast. Okay, let's see here. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. Okay. And so, announcements this week. We have just a reminder from the accounting department that we should be checking our address on our pay stubs, because getting towards the end of the year when paperwork will start coming out for a lot of different things, and you need to have the proper address, and same goes with your phone number and email, any other contact information. So please update that with accounting if there are any changes. Technical tips, we're still talking about lasers, but there's a few different kinds of lasers, and the one I'm mentioning today is a slope laser. So we own 2 rotary slope lasers. One is a Spectra 1242 and another is a Topcon RLH3C. These devices can operate in a level mode, just like a normal laser, or a single plane slope mode. So really, instead of looking level, it's just tilting everything. So one of the keys, of course, if you're doing that and you want to pitch a certain way, is to make sure you're aligning your slope to the right direction of your work. So the Spectra has a slope setting which can be adjusted up to 25% with 0.1 increments, and it bumps up and increases as you go to the higher slopes. The Topcon unit, instead of setting the slope, you set some grades and then you adjust to match those grades, like on a grade stake, to show that slope. While Spectra sounds easier to set up, you really should be doing that check anyway, so probably it doesn't really matter. So I got links to both devices for instruction manual, and then also just an accuracy question or issue to discuss is that Spectra reports an accuracy of 0.15% up to 3%, and then it actually gets pretty bad, like potentially a 6% error when you're up at 25%. I think that's because you're setting it. If you go verify it, you shouldn't have a problem. But if you go automatically assume, click, 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 push the button until you get to 25%, you can't assume that's really 25. So that's why I say it doesn't really mean much. You should use that same procedure. And then Topcon reported accuracy of 15 seconds. It's basically the same as any laser. So on a typical laser, every 100 feet, you could be off 1/100th of a foot, which basically that's the size of your beam anyway. So not a great surprise there when you think about that. So for projects, we're discussing the Elm Street neighborhood and Hospital Hill Street rehab project in Randolph. And as you can see, this is from their drawings on the title page. We have Randolph, the interstate would be up on the hillside over here. There's the hospital heading towards Bethel, that area, the Hospital Hill project area. And then before you get town on the north side, there is the Elm Street neighborhood. Very nice neighborhoods. And so ECI is contracted with the town of Randolph. And the project includes Elm Street with full roadway reconstruction, including sidewalks and curbing, Greenhouse, Mountain, and Friend Avenues, cold planing, shimming, and overlay. Prospect is a full roadway reconstruction, including the curbing. South, Edgewood, Fairview, and Verona have cold planing, shim, and overlay. And utility work is throughout the project. And in certain areas, they're doing water improvements and services and sewer and stormwater. And actually, this picture here was the stormwater detention basin being shaped up and building the outfall head wall, outfall into the pond. Picture, I like this picture of the hydrant with a couple eyeballs. Looks like a little dog. Kept that picture. And then the guys are fitting up a must be a sewer manhole, yeah, sewer manhole. I was kind of surprised because I expected it to be a lot deeper for sewer, right?
Shallow right there.
Very shallow for sewer. I automatically assumed it was storm. And there's the outfall pond after it was shaped up. And that's the outfall portion and the final discharge. And let me just, before I go on to the next, I'll show you. I had some other photos that Corey sent later yesterday afternoon, and I did not get them on the email, so I have it here. So I'll maximize. So there's that uphill or upstream side of the detention pond. All the grass is growing great, I'd say. That's where the excavator was sitting. I'm not sure which street this is, but
Same street.
okay, yep, new curbing and everything. And another looks like new asphalt there.
That's in the hospital.
Yeah, okay. And there's a close-up that looks very nice. It's one of the discharges into the detention pond. And this is what I got there. Okay, and then the only other thing I got is the archive photo. Let's slide this up. And, oh, not used to this mouse. There we go. Okay, so from the archives, over here we have Charlie and Al Hill. So Al Hill passed away probably about 5 years ago. This was in 2007, fiber optic installation on the Vermont Railway. I'm not sure which town that is. I don't know if anyone could recognize it. Not much to go by. But they're using the blowing machine, so the blower blows high velocity air through the interduct, and basically it drags the cable through, and the cable goes through this machine and pushes it as it goes. So it blows air, high velocity, and pushes it. And you can blow, I think, 4,000 feet or 6,000 feet. Quite a shot. So good. That's what I got. Have a safe day out there. I guess we should start really thinking about freezing conditions at night, right? So winterization. Toby Moreau. Part of our routine. Mike O'Brien.
Especially when you're a farmer, right?